Is Peridea actually Mortis? No, I don't think so. But I do believe that Mortis was creating into the liking of Peridea. When watching the Mortis arc in the Clone Wars, the features of the planet are revealed to be wild, since it's first established that the climate is volatile and reacts violently depending on which Mortis god is in control of the mantle. The episodes show this quite a bit. For instance, when the sun reveals himself to Ahsoka and Obi-Wan, the planet darkens and even has some powerful lightning storms that are so strong they even make Anakin Skywalker take shelter for protection from the storms. And as night falls, the areas filled with life begin to decay and die, giving a similar feeling to how Exegol is, with the lightning and dust and just how everything is pretty much dead. However, when the daughter appears or light finally dawns on the planet, we see a lush and green planet filled with life, light shining through the clouds, and even some floating structures of rock and mountain. And don't forget the glow-in-the-dark trees. These things were everywhere, and we did not see them at all. I mean, there was a lot in Ahsoka that we didn't see. In fact, Peridea looks very much like a graveyard. Or honestly, more to what Shin describes, a literal wasteland.
Hey, you clearly see one here? In this wasteland?
Yeah, and I agree with her, because when you look around Peridea, it does look like a graveyard. Not to mention, Peridea is surrounded by a literal graveyard. I mean, that Purgle graveyard has probably been there for thousands of years. Everywhere you look, it seems to be lifeless and abandoned. You can clearly see there was a great civilization here at one time, but those days are long gone. And so is most of the soil that made the planet rich with life and its former inhabitants. Peridea is a shadow of its former self. And anything that resides there now are just raiders, scavengers, or even outsiders who have been left and abandoned. Which brings me to my next point. There are absolutely no inhabitants on Mortis outside the father and his children, and he says this, that only he and his children reside there. So that means no sleeping great mothers, no night sisters, no Purgle, no tomb of Kujet, no raiders, no howlers, and no naughty people. And if there were, I'm pretty sure Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, or Anakin would have come across some of these inhabitants, seeing as they basically traverse majority of the planet on Mortis. But still, what's most important is we have no idea what even happened to Mortis at the end of the saga in Clone Wars. I mean, if there were inhabitants there and howlers and other significant beings, did they all just die when the monastery blew up? That seems kind of weird, and I don't think that's exactly how that happened, which is why I believe Mortis is its own realm, its own planet, I guess, created of the Force. And I would believe that the Mortis gods, although I don't see them as true gods, they're more like demigods, I do believe that they are powerful enough to create something along the lines of their own plane or planet. So really, no, I don't think there was anyone else on the planet Mortis outside of the father, the son, and the daughter. But what about the statues on Peridea? I mean, that's a great freaking question, fam. But here's the thing. Seeing as Peridea already has mountains and structures and statues and hieroglyphics showcasing what came before, I really do believe that at one time, Peridea might have been an advanced civilization. And there are so many points and details inside Ahsoka that show this. And just like every advanced civilization that's no longer there in Star Wars, there's always evidence that lingers there today, and that leaves remnants of their past. The Masasi ruins on Yavin 4, the Valley of the Sith Lords on Korriban, the ancient Zepho on the planet Zepho, and of course Peridea as well. But most importantly, Peridea as a whole. I believe that these statues of the Mortis gods were built by whoever lived there at the time. And the Mortis gods absolutely at one time lived on this planet. Because not only are the statues a great supporting detail for this, but the geography itself of the planet where Baylan is last seen in the Ahsoka series is nearly identical to the father's monastery on Mortis. There's so many other details that go into this, but that's what's so compelling here, is that what exactly happened on Peridea that drove the Mortis gods away, because that is ultimately what happened here, is that they left. And I did make a video about this, and you can get that link right here to watch the rest of it. But if something did happen on Peridea to the point where the Mortis gods left and made their own planet, I'm not sure if we're ever going to find that. It's a tragedy what happened to Rey, and Balin's character arc is, in my opinion, one of the best parts of Ahsoka. And I'm not sure if we're really ever going to see that end, or even have it continue. But outside of that, I do believe 100% that Peridea and Mortis are two different planets. And I can very easily see someone defend the case that Mortis is Peridea. But most importantly, what do you think? Do you think that Abeloth is imprisoned on this planet? Do you think that the Mortis gods left Peridea and created Mortis for themselves? Let me know in the comment section. I want to hear everything you have to say. This is where Star Wars is the best, man. Always making these theories, talking about it amongst other fans and everyone else that loves what you love. Star Wars, baby. I hope you loved this video. Please subscribe, and I'll see you around, alright fam? Deuces.